No one here really knows what they're doing. Yeah, we know we're stuck, but pretend like we're moving. No, there isn't anyone who really knows what's going on. I can't even think of one, not even John Bellion.
Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of On That Note with Parker Whirling. Today's guest is a pop singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and producer. He's got a new song out right now called JON BELLION off of his EP, A Year Underwater, which will be coming out in 2021. Please welcome Lev.
This should be going. I hope my levels aren't horrifying, because that would really ruin the whole audio engineer thing that I was going with.
I'm sure it's all good. And I apologize to you and everyone listening if you hear hammers and buzzsaws. They're doing renovations in the apartment right next to me. And there's just
no.
nothing I can do about it. It really got in the last guy's interview, Ursay, and a little bit in Scofie's interview. But, you know, we're just going to roll with it, and it's going to turn out the way it's going to turn out.
No, I get it, man. I had I live in LA, and I had my my neighbors told us a week before. Actually, not even a week before. They told us like maybe 4 or 5 days before before they started, that they were going to just completely knock down their whole house.
Oh,
And build an entire new one from scratch. And they're like 6 feet from my bedroom window. Like, it's the kind of like valley, like LA houses that are like stacked on one another.
right.
So it was like every morning. It was for all of quarantine. It was every morning. Still in quarantine, but now I'm on the East Coast. Every single morning at 7 a.m. Just
Damn.
destruction.
Yeah, they start early. These guys start at like 8 sometimes. And it's literally my bedroom is next to the apartment that's being renovated.
I'm not interested.
Exactly. I'm ready to move to like a cabin in the woods, man. Just go somewhere where I can't hear anything for miles.
I'm with you on that.
Awesome. Lev, thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming on and talking about your music. First of all, congratulations on releasing your new single, JON BELLION. It came out a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's a total bop, man. How does it feel to have it out?
You know, it's always a bit of a surreal feeling to have music out in the world that you've been working on for however long. This one was particularly fun because it was probably the most collaborative one I have on the project. So it was just fun being able to like just get it out and like just celebrate with friends and everything.
What made this one more collaborative?
Basically, the whole idea of the song was that we can't, like, none of us can do anything alone. As much as I tried to do everything alone for a long time. And so I wanted to incorporate that musically too. So I had my friend Chris is playing the bass on the record. I wrote it with my friends Jake and Bendik. Bendik also produces with me all my music. My friend Nina is just like wailing on the last chorus, just singing her ass off. I don't know if can I swear on this podcast?
Oh, yeah, dude. Swear as much as you fucking want.
My friend Salem also sang on the record, did background vocals with us. My friend Spoov is a huge fan of JON BELLION, as am I. And so we didn't tell him that we wrote a song called JON BELLION. We asked him to come to the studio. It was basically a total surprise. I actually wasn't there for this, unfortunately, but Jake and Bendik were. They gave him headphones, put him in the recording booth, and played the song through his headphones and recorded his live reactions to the record. And we kept all of his live reactions in the record and like manipulated a few of them. But like when you hear the "Oh my God" at the end, that's my friend Spoov just like being excited about the song.
That's so cool.
That was the whole idea of the record, was to tackle this whole imposter syndrome that I have felt, a lot of my friends have felt, I think anyone in any creative endeavor has felt. And I think that's my favorite way to do it, is to just do it with friends.
That's so cool. And I do love the message behind it, especially in music. It's so easy to compare yourself to others and be like, oh man, I wish I had that many monthly listeners, or I wish I could make something that cool. And like all that really does is distract you from doing the work that you're meant to be doing and creating the things you're meant to be creating. And
Totally.
I thought it was so cool that that song kind of strips away any idea of people like have like knowing exactly what's going on. You know, there are some freaks who have been in it for a long time and they really can be wizards, but they didn't start that way. You know, everybody
For
is
sure, man.
faking it till they make it in a way.
Exactly. And I feel like that's such a really the song was a reminder for me more than anything because I get so wrapped up in that world. Jon Bellion probably being the most pristine example of it in my life, just because I've idolized him, you know, musically and otherwise, for a long time. So I wanted to come into the studio and write a song that was gonna allow me to tackle the feeling, but also be able to look back on it and say like, this is, you know, I want to be able to perform the record, and in performing the record, feel more confident about myself and feel less like an imposter. So I wanted to have something that was tackling this idea of like a lack of confidence, but also felt confident in its performance.
Right.
I feel like we kind of got there, but that was the goal. That was definitely one of the goals.
Yeah, you definitely got there. It is such it like you own your insecurities in that song, and that's what makes it feel so confident.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what was it like navigating, collaborating with so many people? Was this the first time you had to do that?
Kind of like I tend to collaborate less on my own artist project, which probably also comes from insecurity. But I write with others all the time. I'm also just like a pop songwriter for other artists, and so part of that, and actually just basically all of that, is collaboration. So I do have like a fair amount of experience doing it. So it wasn't totally out of the ordinary for me, but it definitely is the most collaborative one on my EP. Um, and I think it gives it I think it gives it a different energy that I think the record needed, or the project needed.
Was it challenging at all to kind of play like a director role in telling people what you wanted, you know, and if maybe somebody's got a different opinion, you have to be like, okay, I appreciate it, but you know, this is how I'm seeing the song.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, normally in a lot of circumstances, I think that can be difficult. In this particular one, I think I was in like an especially open mood because I didn't have the idea to call the song Jon Bellion. I had the idea to have this like whole imposter syndrome thing, like the confidence thing. I had all like, and we had the record. With Bendick, I chose the drums, and I laid down this guitar thing that we kept on the record as like the foundation of the whole thing. But I was ready to like stop it there. And at one point, Bennett goes like, because we were writing like, no one here really knows what they're doing, knows that the stock, pretend like they're moving, blah, blah, blah. Bennett goes, I think it was Bendick. He was like, what if we say like, I can't even think of one, not even Jon Bellion. And I was like, that's dumb. Like, we're not going to do that. Like, it's a stupid idea for a song. And then, so I was like, I basically vetoed it. And then Jake and Bendick were like, we'll just try it for now. Like, we'll just leave it in for a second. And I think they knew that if they left it in, we would all fall in love with it, and I would come around on the idea, and that's exactly what happened. So, it wasn't particularly challenging with this one. I think collaboration can be really challenging. This one, I think I was open. They were open. We just really wanted to have fun with the song. Like I wanted to go in and have fun with the song and like tackle an idea that I wanted to tackle. And it's not always as easy as it was with this one. So that was part of the fun of it, and I think you can hear how fun it was for us to make in the song.
Yeah, it's a very fun song. That's funny that the title of the track was such a controversy when you were writing it. And but that's cool. That's interesting that they left it in there, you know, because you never know. After you hear something a certain amount of times, you might love it more or you might get tired of it. So that's cool that you left it in and like left it to chance. And now we have Jon Bellion.
Now we have Jon Bellion.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, that was my phone.
It's okay.
Anyway, is this under your new EP, A Year Underwater?
Yeah, that'll be all the singles I've put out so far have been for the project. I'm gonna put out one more single and then the whole project in 2021.
Nice. So, what can people expect from the whole project that's been different from your previous releases? I mean, I know it's the same releases, but what's going to be something like, is there a different approach you've had to this compared to any music you've released, like at all?
Part of I think one of the main things I really wanted to do with the project was I wanted to come out. This is really my first like set of releases ever. Like I did a project like on my own back in when I was like 18 or 19. Um, but this is really like my debut, and I wanted to have this be the time where I took like complete creative control over my music for the first time. Because a lot of the times, it's just hard to say no to people, and it's hard to get yourself to a point where you can say exactly what you want to say on a project without having to compromise like an idea or musicality or something along those lines. So this is the first time I was like, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say exactly what I want to say. It's gonna come from me. It's gonna feel like me, and that sort of expressed itself in a lot of different styles. Like, so one of the concerns I had was that that was gonna be a not like it's not gonna be a very cohesive record because I have like 7 songs and 7 different genres. They all fall under pop, I think. Um, but if you listen to the project like top to bottom, I don't think there's a single song that you could call as like in the exact same genre as the previous. So that was something that I ended up being really proud of because it just felt this feels like me expressing myself like really freely and really honestly for the first time. And my hope is that it sounds cohesive because it's honest and because it's all me and because it all sounds like me. Um, and maybe the variety in genre will be a good thing. But yeah, no, the fourth single is a song called Fighter, and it's like sort of this like gorillas like hip hop meets like Justin Timberlake, like chorus vocals meets like so it's like yeah, I don't know. It's meets like Dominic Fike. Like it's a whole. It's really an exploration for me, which I think is really fun. And if I can continue to do that kind of exploration within like a larger idea, like A Year Underwater, then I think I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's funny that cohesion sometimes happens without you trying. And I think that's probably the best way it does come is when you're just writing what feels good and what feels right. And suddenly it dawns on you like, oh, these handful of songs actually piece well together. And if you think about it, maybe it would be like maybe it wouldn't work if you were thinking about it too much. Like I'm gonna write this to. I mean, I don't know. Some people, you think about people who write musicals and they have to like write a song like for each moment, and I'm like, I don't know how you could even conjure that sort of energy. I'm just lucky if I can, write one little tune a day.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how Lin Manuel does it.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Lin Manuel. So you did a live performance for all of your songs that you've put out so far. What was that process like? What's your rehearsal schedule like, ahead of time?
That was fun. I mean, we wanted to put something together that was going to feel live in a time when there's obviously no live music and we couldn't possibly do it if we wanted to. We ended up rehearsing a few times. I had played with Jacob and with Ryland and with Chris for other projects and for other people's bands a bunch of times, so it wasn't like a new thing for us. But it was the first time that we played my songs for me. So that was exciting. It was kind of fun. It was actually really fun. I don't know why I said it's kind of fun. It was so fun.
I'm sure it's a little stressful though too, like having to construct a live performance that is your music.
Yeah, it's a lot to put together. Because we also had to have my good friend Whitney, who's just like so talented. She's a photographer and videographer, and we had to coordinate that with the audio too, and like get a great video take and also get a great audio take and all these things. So yeah, it was tough, but it was really fun. I'd like to do more things like that if I can.
Did you learn anything from this round that you would take into the next round of filming?
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably rehearse more. That would probably be good.
Baseline, probably just rehearse more in general.
Yeah, just basically that's just kind of just like good advice across the board. I really want to play with different live arrangements next time. We kind of like stuck pretty close to the bill on this one, which I think was fun, just to like be able to have live versions of them and out in the world. Uh, but I have some like live arrangement ideas that I'd want to try out on a future project.
So what are you thinking? What kind of live arrangement?
I love the way, I mean, not to like reference John Bellion this whole podcast, but I love I love the way like someone like John will take a song that you know so well and just flip it live to a point where like genre wise you don't know where you are, like instrumentation wise it's like a wholly totally different arrangement and orchestration of a lot of the parts. So I have this one for Always the Rain that I really want to try out, that kind of explores that kind of a thing. Um, yeah, I just think that's so fun because it just gives new life to the songs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool to change things up, especially when you're playing live and give people a different experience.
Right.
Cool. Well, that's going to take us over to the last five. I'm just going to ask you 5 quick questions and then we'll be done.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. What is on your musical rotation right now?
Oof. Uh, what is on my musical rotation? Can I check?
Yeah, throw up the Spotify. Pretty much everybody's like, oh shit, I have to check Spotify. It's one of those things like nobody thinks about until somebody asks you and you're like, fuck, what am I listening to?
For sure. Yeah, no, I never know. Everyone's like, I feel like people ask me this all the time, and I'm like, I'm listening to a lot of things always, so I never really know. I'm listening to Hoops by Wolf, this girl, Julia Wolf, I think,
Nice.
artist in New York. Just love that song. Davin Kingston is amazing. I sort of always have Channel Orange in rotation.
Nice.
My friend Amelia Ali put out a song called Quiet, which I just think is so beautiful. Super Cuts by Jeremy Zucker. Rule? Do you know Rule? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Is that a band?
No, it's this guy, I think from the UK, who is sort of getting bigger now, and he's amazing. I've also been listening to Joji. He's amazing.
Yeah. He just put out a new record, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's so good.
Nice. I haven't listened to it yet, but everybody tells me to listen to Joji.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think you definitely have to.
So number 2, who's your dream artist or producer to work with?
I mean, John Bellion.
Shout out to John Bellion, man. He's taking up all the answers here.
He's getting everything today. That's fine. Yeah, John Bellion. Stevie Wonder is a dream of mine since I was a kid. I grew up being a pretty big Stevie Wonder fan. James Taylor, I was also a huge James Taylor fan growing up. Still am.
Yeah, my parents blast him when we're making dinner all the time.
Yeah, only parents blast James Taylor. Like you have to be over 45 to blast James Taylor.
Yeah. It's like perfect for a dinner party, you know, when everybody's like getting wine drunk.
Yeah, I love the man dearly.
Number 3, what's your favorite decade of music?
That's a great question. Probably the 70s.
Good choice.
But I'm sort of a toss up between the 70s and right now.
2020s or 2010s? 2020s has been not even a full year.
10s has got some 2010s is okay. 2000s has got some classics. I'm feeling very hopeful about music creation in the 2020s. I think there's a lot of underrated music that people don't know about, and I think it's gonna come to light in the next 5 to 10 years. I just think some of these artists are so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. That is actually my 4th question is who do you think is the most underrated artist right now?
I'm in love with Dominic Fike. I think he's incredible. I don't know if he's really underrated though.
He's blowing up a little bit.
He's blown up a little bit. So it would have been cooler for me to say that like 7 months ago when I first, started getting into him. Um, I think Kevin Garrett is very underrated. Kevin Garrett, I think, is just incredible. Dijon, I think, is underrated.
Oh yeah, I listened to him a little bit. He's sick.
Dijon is crazy. He's like his production and arrangements are nuts.
Yeah, very interesting. He's like all of his songs don't even sound like songs. They sound like these moods.
Yeah. And I think honestly, one of the most underrated artists of all time is D'Angelo. I don't think nearly enough people listen to D'Angelo.
He's sick. He's like kind of a myth though. He's like a mythical figure. People only see him every 15 years.
I know. That's that's incredible. I don't know how he does it. It actually, it's actually a little bit sad. His story and his whole mythos thing, because he's I think he's had a tough career, tough 15 years, especially with like rehab and things like that. But that said, him reappearing in 2014, 2015 was just the best.
Black Messiah, was that the name of the project? Yeah, I remember when that came out. I listened to the whole thing a couple of times with some friends, but I can't remember the one song that always got me. It started off with the piano line, like da 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 da. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a great song. All right, well here's the last question: Channel Orange or Blonde?
Oh God, you know me already. How do you know me so well already? I
do the research, man. I do the research.
I go with Blonde.
Same, yeah.
Just because Blonde kind of changed my life. But I feel like I go back to Channel Orange more. Because Channel Orange I can listen to almost any time. But Blonde is like, Blonde will save my life. So I'd pick Blonde, but that's tough. That is tough.
It is tough because they are really different when you boil them down. To me, Channel Orange, like you said, you can listen to it all the time because each song is kind of its own single, its own bop. Where is Blonde, I don't really want to just start in the middle of it. I want to start with Nikes, and I don't want to stop until I'm done with Futura Free.
Exactly. I commit. When I listen to Blonde, I'm going all the way through.
Right.
You know what's especially incredible about those records is that I didn't realize it until I started like getting really deep into the process of producing my own music. But Bendick and I tend to just keep adding layers. Like there's so many. I don't think we've sent Zach, our mixing engineer, less than 150 to 200 tracks on any song.
Damn, that's a lot of tracks.
It's a lot. That creates sort of the sound that I've gotten on this project. But when I listen to something like Channel Orange, it's a huge goal of mine in the future, production-wise, to be able to capture what he captured with like the 10 tracks tops that he captures them with, because that like minimalist production thing I think is just so incredible. If I can like inch closer to that, I'll be really happy.
Yeah, there's something to be said for being able to deconstruct something to its bare minimum and still have it be incredible. Like Nikes is what, like a bass line, a synth, a drum machine, and his voice for like 4.5 minutes, and it's incredible.
That's like almost all his songs. Like if you listen to Thinking Out Loud, that's Ed Sheeran.
Thinking About You.
Thinking About You. If you listen to that record, it's like kick, snare, this like synth thing, his voice, and that's like almost it. Like
the violins. That's only the beginning, I guess.
And then that's the whole record. Like it doesn't really expand much from there, and somehow it has like the dynamic shift and like this growth, and like that's just incredible.
We talk about Frank all the time on this podcast.
Yeah, no, don't get me started. See, I've already gone way over our time.
I know, I shouldn't have made it the last question. But on that note, we'll end our time here. Lev, thank you for joining me and talking about A Year Underwater, your new EP coming out 2021. Congratulations again on the new single, Jon Bellion, which is out now. And when will Fighter be out?
It's looking like it'll probably be January. It's going to be like a new year, new me situation.
Nice.
Yeah, man, thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later, bro. Have a good one.
You too.
See ya. Bye.
We were always a train, headed straight for a brick wall. We were always the rain, at the start of a long walk. We were never the same.